In the following tutorial, we're going to take a look at drawing with Flash. So let's open up our, oops, I wanted to hit new. Let's open our FlashCS4 drawing_start file. And you'll notice that this file is a little bit different size than maybe the default. And that size is down here. You can see that we can edit our size at any time for any Flash file. Now, in order to move around your Flash file, there's a couple things that are really nice to know. One tool is the hand tool. If you click on your stage and then click on the space bar, you can access the hand tool pretty much any time that you're in Flash. Now, the hand tool can also be found on your tool panel. Now, you also want to zoom in and out quite often. I like using Control plus and minus, or Control Shift and then the middle mouse wheel in order to interactively zoom in and out. Now, you can use the zoom tool over here, but I think it's kind of slow going to it. Now, we're going to begin by drawing on our top layer, which is our drawings layer here. You'll notice that we have three layers: background, task, and drawings. Now, notice that all three are currently locked, and if you look at them, you'll notice that task and background have black dots and drawings has a white dot. And that's because task and background currently have content, visual content on those layers, and the drawings layer does not. Well, in order to draw on a layer, you want to make sure that, of course, you've created the layer and named it, but also that you're on that layer and that it's currently unlocked. You'll notice if I go to the top here and start to draw, it won't allow me to because that layer is not unlocked. So if I click, it actually will even come up with a dialog box that says, would you like to unlock it? You hit yes. Now it's unlocked and you can continue drawing. Now go ahead and give yourself a default stroke color, and I gave it a size maybe of 6 or so. You can use this bar and drag, but it doesn't often give you exact numbers, so I like to just click on it and type in the number. Apply a fill color as well, and then we're going to go to the main rectangle tool over here on the top right, and then I'm going to look at the difference between object drawing versus shape drawing. In shape drawing, we want to access this toggle here at the bottom and make sure it's off. Now you'd click and drag on the stage and you've drawn a shape. Now turn it on to object drawing, click and drag again, and let's see what the differences are. If you look at them right now, you'll notice that one is currently selected. The drawing object that we just made is selected. If I click on it, you'll notice my properties say drawing object. If I click on the other one, you'll notice that I get a series of little dots instead. And now it says shape. Well, that difference is very, very important between the two. Now, a shape is a flattened type of drawing thing in Flash, whereas objects are standalone separate objects. And here's a way to demonstrate that best. I'm going to go back to the rectangle tool, and while I'm still on the drawing object, I'm going to click and drag and create a new drawing on top of this existing one. I'm going to click off that toggle again and draw another object, or this time a shape, over the top of the other shape that we have. Now, they might not look very different, but they're extremely different. If I go back to the black arrow on the top right and choose that, you'll notice the difference when I go back and start trying to move these objects. When I try and move the object here on the top right, you'll notice that I can freely move the two objects separate of each other because they're two individual objects. Well, these shapes are not individual objects. They're really one shape all flattened together. If I click and drag, you'll notice that it removes just what I have selected. If I want to select other parts and delete them, I can easily select them. But notice what's happened. The two shapes have automatically cut into each other, which is one of the unique things about shapes. We can also use things like lines and cut into a shape. If I cut through a shape with a line, a fill, I can now separate those two sides. Click on it and move it, and you'll see that we have two sides. You can also click and drag through a shape and delete parts of it. So it's almost like a bitmap mode within Flash. It's pretty wild what you can do. So go ahead and play around a little bit, and then when you're done, save your file and go on. Your next file might look a little bit different from what I have here, but that doesn't matter. You can still